Yo, what's up, guys? I want to talk to you guys today about the cost of living in Peru. Okay, and so to do this, I'm going to separate Peru into three different portions. Okay, and so first things first, we're going to talk about Cusco and the Sacred Valley. Okay, so that's going to include a lot of cities. For example, Cusco, Urubamba, Pisac, even as far out as Arequipa, if you're one of the people wanting to go there. Okay, so that's number one, Cusco and the Sacred Valley. Secondly, I'm going to talk a little bit about Lima, the downtown area, and how much it costs to live there. And then finally, we're going to go up to the jungle into the Iquitos area and talk about the cost of living there. Okay, and so if you don't want to hear my whole rant here, just go ahead and click on the links below to go specifically to the portion that you would like to know more about. Okay, and so first things first, let's talk about Cusco. Cusco, it's a very beautiful town, guys. And it's also one of the more expensive in Peru, okay? And so obviously, you're not going to be spending as much as you would say in Lima, but you will have to pay a little bit more, especially if you want to live in the downtown Cusco area. So here's what Cusco looks like. Very beautiful area. If you want to get a one-bedroom apartment in Cusco, here's the thing. There's no what they call business codes or building codes, in Peru, like they have in the United States. And so you're going to be able to find an array of different types of housing for an array of different types of prices. Okay, to give you an example, when I was actually searching for an apartment in Cusco, I found a place and I ended up not wanting to stay there and ended up going to a different part of the Sacred Valley, but it didn't have floors and it was all dirt. And I had bathroom and shower, but it was only 300 soles per month, okay? And so that's roughly $75, $80 to $100 in that range. Okay, so very cheap if you wanted to go on the low end. There are lots of apartments available, and I will at some point show you an example, okay, of an apartment that you can get for very cheap. Okay, and so that's Cusco. Here's Sacsayhuaman. It's very nice or very close to a lot of the big sites Cusco is in Peru. Okay, there's Cristo Blanco and random people. Pisac, this might be another place for you to consider. Okay, so this is right next to Cusco. It's right in the Sacred Valley region, and it's it's not the biggest town in the world. I wish I had some better pictures to show you guys, but it's also very cheap, and there's a big expat community. And the same could be said about a town called Ollantaytambo right here. Okay, and so if you're looking, to be in the Sacred Valley region, be near Cusco, be in that region, probably consider going to a town like Pisac, Urubamba, Ollantaytambo, because you'll still be in the same region, and you will only have to pay a little bit. You'll pay a little bit less than you would have in Cusco, okay? And so just some pictures of Ollantaytambo. Here's actually a picture of my front yard in Urubamba, okay? And so when I stayed in the Sacred Valley, I was only paying $115 a month, or roughly 150. Excuse me, I'm thinking in dollars and soles at the same time here, confusing myself. 450 soles per month is what I paid. So here's my front yard. There was a lot of plants and fruits and you name it that I could just pick and eat if I wanted to while I was staying here. And it had a nice big gate. You can see it right in the back here. A nice big gate, lots of privacy. And I actually did share it with a couple other people, but they were both from America. They both spoke English, and I felt really safe while I was there. So that's the front yard. Here's a little bit going into the backyard. It's a very big house, guys. It was 3 bedrooms. There was a gasoline stove. There was a hot shower. There was a living room. There was a backyard. Here's a little bit of the backyard. And like I said, it was only $115 a month. We had a lot of good times with my roommates and I back here just, making fires. And, you could stay in the Sacred Valley region for $115 a month. That's what I'm trying to get across to you guys. Okay, and so here's some more Cusco. This is actually Inti Raymi in 2016. So there's the emperor right here, the Inca emperor, quote unquote. And so very nice region, guys. Very awesome. If you want to move to the Sacred Valley, you will not regret it. It's very beautiful, very stunning, okay? And I wanted to actually show you guys some information, okay? So when you are searching for, cost of living and online, you're not going to be able to find very good prices typically. So here's what the internet says the cost of living in Cusco, Peru is, okay? And so let's look at this. Basic lunchtime menu, 15 sol. Wow. Okay, so I could tell you from personal experience, guys, that is a complete lie. So yes, you can find a place that you can get a 15 sole entree, but if you want good native food, you can get it for as low as 5 soles or 4 soles in Cusco. Okay, so that's Cusco, and the same can be said about really anywhere in the Sacred Valley, or just anywhere in Peru in general. Okay, maybe with the exception of Lima. We'll talk more about Lima when I get there. But prices that they have for just random living expenses, very ridiculous. Okay, let me show you an example. Housing, right? I told you guys that I found a place in Urubamba, which is right next to Cusco. It's the same area, and the prices in all these areas are about the same in the Sacred Valley. Okay. And so I told you that I found one for 450 soles, right? Well, it says right here that I would have had to spend 1,500 or 1,000. It's just exaggerated, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure where this website even gets their numbers, but I just wanted to point that out to you guys that is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, it's so let's go back to some pictures. Okay, so here's part of the Sacred Valley. Hotels, guys. If you want to stay in a hotel in the Sacred Valley, here's one that I got for $5 a night, and I got look 3 beds. Okay, here's actually Kiabamba, also part of the Sacred Valley, kind of sort of closer to Machu Picchu. Very nice area. Same could be said. Here's my $5 hotel room in that area. Okay, and of course, anywhere you go, you'll be able to find your 5 sole lunch and dinner. Okay. And when you're in the Sacred Valley, yes, you do have to buy water, but water is very cheap. A couple soles for a big bottle. Okay. Here's a little bit of Machu Picchu. Now, we're getting closer to Lima and going over to Nazca. Very cool area, but the same could be said. We really could put this in the same kind of category. Sacred Valley, $5, $6 a night. Average for your housing. Still going to be able to get your 5 sole meal. Okay, anywhere you go, and then 2 soles a day roughly for your water. Okay, so that's what we got so far. Sacred Valley region. Here's Nazca. Get to see the Nazca lines. Good time, right? Ica, same could be said, but we're getting closer to Lima. And let's actually talk a little bit about Lima. Okay, so let's go back, to our cost of living. And look at this. Okay, so it says that the prices are roughly the same in Lima as they were in Cuzco, with the exception of the housing. It looks like it's a little bit more expensive here, but in all reality, Lima is a lot more expensive for the most part than Cusco. Okay, and so I figured this out pretty quick. I went to Lima because I was curious and I wanted to see the prices and I wanted to see the city, but as soon as I got there, I realized, yes, there are a lot of places that charge along these lines. Okay, and so you'll be able to in Lima go to a lot of the American fast foods, and you'll also be able to have all the cinemas and lots of casinos, and it's almost like a South American version of Las Vegas if you were to go to Lima. But like I said, it is a little bit more expensive if you're looking for housing. Cut these in half, guys. These cost of livings more on the lines of 600 to 750 soles, or that's a little over $250 for an apartment for 1 month. Okay, you'll still be able to find 5 soles, 6 sole meals, but in Lima it's a little bit harder to actually find those sort of places, and you want to go on the outskirts of the town, because when you're in the middle, there's a lot more tourists and a lot more people with money in the middle of Lima. And so if you're wanting to live in Lima, live on the outskirts of the town. Okay, the same could be said perhaps about Cusco if you're really on a budget, but if you want to live in Lima and you want to live on, say, for example, $500, $600 a month, live on the edge of the town and eat at the local places at the edge of the town. Okay, so it is possible to live in a place like Lima, for example, for $500, $600 a month, but it's going to take a little bit more budgeting. Okay, and so that's Lima. Very beautiful town. You'll have a great time in Lima for sure. But if you're a little bit more on the budget side, you probably want to consider Cusco in the Sacred Valley or the jungle. Okay, and so let's actually talk about the jungle now. So this is actually in Pucallpa, which is quite a bit of ways away from, Iquitos, but it's only a 5-day boat journey, or obviously you can fly in. Which actually brings me to another point. Let's go ahead and talk about this while talking about the cost of living. If you want to, go from Lima to Iquitos, like I did, you only have two options. You can't drive into Iquitos. You can either fly or you can take a boat. So as you can see, this is what I did. I took a boat. And, if you're looking, you have to stay on a hammock, and it's not the most fun ride in the world, and it'll take several days, but it's very rewarding, very fun. And so here's Iquitos. Here's actually the Plaza de Armas, the downtown area in Iquitos. Here's some street art, some friends I met in Iquitos. Here's some jungle really close to Iquitos, and the view that you actually get from the tourist part of town, Iquitos itself. Okay, and here's a person put their house in the middle of the river, which is actually pretty funny. See, it's the same river right here. As the water levels go up, apparently people do things like put their houses in the middle of the river. But anyways, let's talk about the cost of living in Iquitos specifically. Okay, so let's go back to this page. Oh man, I don't even know why I'm going back to the same source because it's so ridiculous. But it's saying right here that the cost of living is about the same in Lima as it is in Iquitos, which is very strange, right? And so it looks like the housing they're saying is a little less expensive, but even still, guys, this is absolutely ridiculous. I feel bad for this website just for putting up these terrible numbers, and they get this top search result on Google. So just so you guys know, these numbers are not even remotely accurate, okay? And so when I was actually staying in Iquitos, I had an apartment for 450 soles a month, just like I did in the Sacred Valley, and just like is almost plausible in Lima, just a little bit more, right? But 1350, that's a little bit high, okay? And so what can you get for 450 soles a month? Well, you can get a whole bedroom, a bathroom, maybe even a kitchen area. I was a little unlucky, I didn't get the kitchen area, but you can. But in Iquitos, there's a lot of native restaurants and native food that's really good and really cheap, okay? So if you're looking at this chart right here, oh my goodness, it doesn't even list food, but the food in the jungle and in the Amazon in general is it's very cheap, guys, okay? So what do I mean by cheap? 5 soles, 6 soles, in that vicinity, okay? Very, very affordable. So it's very plausible to have your living expenses in the jungle and in Cusco and the Sacred Valley to be only $6, $7 a day, okay? Very plausible. I did it for months, okay? You can live on $6, $7 a day to have that be your bare minimum expenses, and then spend your other, if you're wanting to, for example, live on $15 a day like me, then you have $7 extra to spend however you want, okay? So finally, I wanted to illustrate my point and why you guys should stay away from the online prices, okay? And so I was talking about Cusco, being about 400 to 500 soles a month, housing. Well, if you were to search this on Craigslist, this is what you get. Okay, so this is saying $450 per month. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is what you get. It looks pretty nice, right? It looks pretty decent. But let me just tell you guys, I showed you some pictures. I wish I had better pictures at the inside, but you could get all of this and more for less money. Okay, so do not promise me, do not search on Craigslist. If you do go to Facebook, be careful. There's some good websites. This one right here, Sacred Valley Housing and Market. When I was living over there, I did search this website or this Facebook page quite a bit, but it might not be the place to go. This actually looks like a pretty decent deal right here. 750 soles per month for a 2-bedroom apartment. So there are some exceptions, but like I said, just know the general price that you want to pay, and it should be about 450 soles per month on average per person. Unless you're living in Lima, then it will be a little bit more expensive. Okay, so that's it. That's all I got for you guys. That is Cusco, Lima, and the Iquitos area. Okay, so that's the cost of living in a nutshell. If you have any more questions for me, cost of living, anything you think I might have missed in this video, I would definitely love to hear from you guys. My whole intention with doing this YouTube channel is to help people like you who are interested in, moving to Cusco, Sacred Valley, Lima, Peru, or just down to South America in general. That's what I'm here for. So, help me out. Click subscribe, share the video, do whatever you need to do to maybe help me or maybe not help me. I really don't care. I'm just going to keep making these videos anyway. But that's it. Cost of living in Peru in a nutshell. Peace.